today we are going to take up class Holothuroidea of phylum Echinodermata, and they're also known as the sea cucumber, sea cucumbers. So now the sea cucumber, it is cylindrical in shape, and it is extended along the oral aboral axis. So on the oral side the mouth is there, and along with that these tentacles are there, which are actually modified podia and tube feet. So now this animal, since it is long, so it lies on the substratum. Since they are benthic animals, so it lies on the substratum on one side, and that side is functional ventral side, so that is known as sole. So it has three ambulacral areas. So these are the ambulacral areas. So they are pentamerous, having 5 ambulacral and interambulacral areas. So the three ambulacral areas are on the functional ventral side, which is also known as the sole, and that has got the tumor. The ambulacral area has got the tube feet, which help in the movement of the animal along with the contraction of the body. So the mouth is on the anterior side, and the anus is on the posterior side of the body. So along with that, so then if we see what is there inside the internal anatomy of the animal. So and in the internal anatomy, what is there is that the buccal podium is there on the anterior side. The mouth is there, and the buccal podia are there. So this area we call as introvert or the neck. So these podia, they can completely when not because this animal feeds on they are planktons, on small animals, planktons. So they are basically suspension feeders. So whatever is there in the current of water, that gets attached to these dendritic tentacles or podium. We call them as tentacles, we call them as podia. Although they are specialized podia, we call them as tentacles. They have got the minute animals, the planktonic animals, they get attached to it and finally enters the body through the mouth. So now they can be completely retracted inside the body. So now along with that, if we see the water vascular system of the animal. So now in the water vascular system, what is there is that the madreporide, unlike in other echinoderms which we have studied, so that it is not attached to the surface, rather it lies freely in the coelom. It has a spacious coelom, as you can see here. So it lies freely in the coelom, and it is connected to the by the stone canal, by a short stone canal. So now around the esophagus the ring canal is there. Around the esophagus the radial water canal is there. So now the radial water canal, from the radial water canal there arise 5 this is ring water canal. So there is ring water canal around the esophagus. There is ring water canal which is there. So this is the ring water canal, the one in green. The ring water canal is there around the esophagus of the alimentary canal. So now along with that, what is there is that there are 5 radial water canals which run along the ambulacra and supply the tube feet in the ambulacral regions. So there it is a pentamerous animal having 5 ambulacral regions, having tube feet, podia, and so now, but before the ring canal, it arises from the from each from the ring canal there arise buccal podia. So these buccal podia, they surround the mouth of the animal, so and help in getting the food. So now from this now ring canal again. So there are 5 radial canals. Buccal podia are there. So then one or more Polian vesicles are attached to it, which build the hydrostatic pressure. Along with that, these madreporide, what we call it as Tideman bodies. So we cannot see the Tideman bodies here. So now what is there is that again when we come down to the madreporide, so the water, now here the coelomic fluid, instead of sea water, the coelomic fluid enters into the madreporide and helps in maintaining the hydrostatic pressure of the water vascular system. So now what is there is that when the sea water, when the coelomic fluid is entering into it, so then this coelomic fluid, the water enters into the coelomic fluid through the anus which is present here, and the cloaca. It enters into the anus and the cloaca, and from the cloacal ducts it enters into the coelomic fluid. So there is an indirect method of getting the water from getting the sea water from, instead of through the madreporide, it is entering through the cloaca and the cloacal ducts. So then it enters into the coelom, and from the coelom it enters into the madreporide. The normal coelomic fluid enters into the madreporide, but the sea water enters into the coelom. So similarly, the Tideman bodies, which are sort of lymphoid organs which pick up the bacteria, other foreign material, so they are present along the wall of the animal. They are as a funnel-like structures which are present along the wall of the animal. So now this is the water vascular system of the animal, the one which I have made in green, which helps in the movement of the animal and helps in maintaining the hydrostatic pressure the movement is by the hydraulic pressure. So after that we come down to the hemal system of the animal. So in the hemal system of the animal, what is there is this, ring hemal canal, ring hemal vessel is present here. So ring hemal vessel is present here, and the ring hemal vessel, the ring hemal vessel is present around the hemal vessel is present around the esophagus, below the ring water canal, and it gives out 5 radial vessels to the 5 radial hemal vessels along the ambulacra. It gives out below the radial water canals. It gives out radial hemal vessels to the in the ambulacral region of the animal. And after that, once it gives it gives the radial hemal vessels. Along with that, it gives this dorsal hemal sinus. On the dorsal side of the intestine, it gives dorsal hemal sinus. So and on the ventral side of the animal, it gives out ventral hemal sinus. As we can see here, this is the dorsal hemal sinus, and the ventral hemal sinus is also there. So this is the dorsal hemal sinus, and this is the ventral hemal sinus. So the branches from the ring hemal vessel is given by dorsal hemal sinus and ventral hemal sinus. So now the dorsal hemal sinus, the dorsal hemal sinus of the descending intestine and ascending intestine, they are connected, and they have got a capillary network also. The dorsal hemal, I am talking of the dorsal hemal sinus. Once is the dorsal hemal sinus, the ventral hemal sinus. The dorsal and the ventral hemal sinus, they are connected also. Similarly, the ventral hemal sinus is also connected. But now the dorsal hemal sinus has got a capillary network in the walls of the intestine. We call it as reet mirabile. So now the reet mirabile is there, or the capillary network is there in the intestinal wall. The second thing is that there is another additional thing which is there. That is the respiratory tree which is there. So now this respiratory tree, the water enters into this respiratory tree from the anus and the cloaca and enters into this respiratory tree. So now what is there is that this respiratory tree, along with that the capillary network, it gets into this respiratory tree, it gets intermingled with the capillary network, and the exchange of gases is there. So it forms an independent portal system. We call it as reet mirabile. This is important. important. So we call it as reach meera bile. And secondly, now this hemal fluid, hemal vessel has got this hemal fluid. It has got coelomocytes in it, and along with coelomocytes, the hemocytes having hemoglobin is also present. So that is why the exchange of gases is there across this portion, which is known as reach meera bile. So along with this, perihemal vessels are also there, and so this is along with this, what is there is that we have so this is something about about the sea cucumber, about the water vascular system, about the hemal system, and the perihemal system is also there, which are which is slightly rudimentary also, but the perihemal system is also there, which encircles the hemal system. So this is about the sea cucumber. Thank you.